What's good, everybody out there on YouTube? This is your man Hastags dropping some hot faraga on this mic. Today we're going to be talking about Sonic Frontiers again, but more specifically the subject of character DLC or just DLC in general for Sonic Frontiers. And it's actually based on a comment by FNS III or FNS III, I don't know, I'm sorry. I usually just call them FNS on stream, so shout out to them. If you'd like to see an idea that you have get made into a video, you know, just go ahead and comment it down below. I read every single comment, which a lot of people don't realize, so they'll comment whatever they want, whether it be, you know, super nice or super rude, and you get some wild comments out there because of it. Also, make sure to become a channel member if you want to support the channel. It helps me out a lot, and it helps support me in making more content for you guys. But to move on with it, my last video is actually based around the concept of multiple characters, or more of the Sonic cast actually being really involved in the story of Sonic Frontiers. But this time around, I wanted to talk about the cast being involved because of gameplay. Sonic games, despite having DLC in the past, have never really done anything big with them. And let me elaborate. You've gotten like small individual levels and stuff. We've gotten costumes here and there, but nothing super big or groundbreaking. Like an expansion like you'd see in a normal game, like say for instance Breath of the Wild, because this is the game I can closest compare what we know about Sonic Frontiers to. I mean, Sonic Generations was extremely minimal and it was launch DLC. It was really just the pinball stuff. Sonic Lost World had small crossovers with The Legend of Zelda, with you know, Yoshi's, and with Knights, but nothing groundbreaking. I mean, they were fun little, you know, 4 to 5 minutes experiences at best. And Sonic Forces, while it had Episode Shadow, that was launch DLC that came with the game that was free, and then they tried to sell a Super Sonic and Sonic shirts, so not really much in the way of actual content, or content that is substantial at least. The only game that I felt like really did it right in any way, shape, or form because of the time period was Sonic Adventure 2. But even then, that's a very low bar, and it's kind of pathetic in the grand scheme of things. And I'm not gonna forget Unleashed. Unleashed did have levels that were DLC, but I don't feel like any of those stages were memorable or even fun in the grand scheme of things. That's not to slander Unleashed, that's just to say that Sonic DLC has just been really underwhelming. And one thing I'd like to see is Sonic Frontiers lifespan extended beyond launch, because I feel like that's an issue that a lot of Sonic games have. I'm not looking for games as a service Sonic game. I'm looking for people to essentially love this Sonic game months down the line and not have to wait years for, you know, random Sonic fan 123 to go on Twitter and tell me how Sonic Frontiers changed his life. I want the community at large, and more so the gaming community at large, to be really involved with this game, because it could be really big for not only Sega but the Sonic franchise as a whole. But could character DLC work in Sonic Frontiers? I mean, think about it. Frontiers will not only have to balance things like speed and combat, but now world size matters more than ever in a Sonic game, or even for an open world game in general. See, one of the things open world games never usually really have to worry about is how fast you can get across the map, mostly because generally the player speed isn't fast enough to get across it without using some type of vehicle or some type of fast travel or transportation. Almost never is your base kit good enough to do that unless you're doing, you know, super high level tech in Breath of the Wild. I just feel like Sonic Frontiers needs to make sure that it knows exactly what it's getting itself into once we, you know, get around to essentially having the gameplay there. I just think that we need to think about what characters could come and how big the map size needs to be, because you have to accommodate Sonic's speed. You don't want Sonic being too slow, and you also kind of don't want him being too fast. You don't want him to get across the map too quickly. You don't want the world to be so small that it feels like, you know, you've made a stale game because people can see all the content, you know, within the first hour or so. That's what I'm saying. But on one hand, you know, you could say that's an issue for Sonic, but not necessarily other characters they could introduce. I feel like characters like Tails, Knuckles, and Rouge would actually be really well suited to this, because when you think about it, their move sets and their skill sets are really well tailored to both combat and traversal in a way that Sonic's is different. Sonic's is really just about getting from point A to B in the fastest manner, where characters like Tails, Knuckles, Rouge are all about giving you options to get to, you know, where you need to go in a myriad of ways, whether that be climbing, gliding, or flying. I'm just really worried that, you know, this game could fall into the Ubisoft formula of go to this tower, do all these meaningless tasks that are there to just keep you busy instead of engaging you. Breath of the Wild kind of broke that trope. Yes, they had things like the towers to open up the map, but overall, it never felt like you had to do all that. And that's in a good way. It just felt like everything was an option, and you were rewarded for taking those routes and doing those options. And that's what I want Sonic Frontiers to be. I keep comparing it to Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild really did set the new standard for open world games. Before that, I think the last one to really rock the world was GTA 5. And even then, by the time we got to GTA 5, people were seeing problems with the open world style of game. The game had a bunch of padded out meaningless tasks that just weren't fun. It'd be different if all these tasks and things they gave you to do were fun, but they just weren't in the grand scheme of things. And that was the issue. And GTA 5 is considered one of the best games of all time, and even it has flaws like that. But overall, I think characters like that are also really well suited to the open world style. And then if we want characters to like play like Sonic but have some more traversal options in there, maybe we could get characters like Blaze the Cat or, you know, Shadow the Hedgehog. They both have relatively similar movesets and similar movement speeds to Sonic. I could really see them working out well, especially since Blaze has the hover, Shadow has things like chaos control. They also have a lot more combat potential. And that's mostly because of Blaze having her fire-based attacks and Shadow having his chaos-based attacks. And please bring back the guns. And before people think I'm serious, I'm not serious about the guns, but if they brought them back, I wouldn't be opposed. It was pretty raw for the time. And if you don't think so, you're just not fun. You're just not ready for Shadow with the Glock, the Draco. You're not ready for the potential that holds. But all jokes aside, I just think it's ironic that a lot of the Sonic cast or Sonic character cast has a lot more traversal options and potential, and they have a lot more combat options, which I feel would really work in a game like this. I feel like having multiple playable characters could really work well, but at the same time, it'd be essentially a tight balancing act between traversal, options, world size, and combat. And I have a video coming out about all these things that's a lot more in depth. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and tick that notification bell. And then also, we have to talk, would these characters have exclusive stages? Because I'd really like them to have stages that are essentially, you know, tailored to their strengths. One of the issues I had with games like Sonic Adventure 1, you'd play as Tails, but I just flew over everything. You know what I mean? They put the little air boosters there, yes, but I never felt like I was really playing stages that were tailored to Tails' moveset and basically designed around that type of moveset. Whereas when we move into a game like Sonic Adventure 2, you have characters having stages specifically designed around them, and I think that worked really well. And then there's also the possibility of having like different open world areas for each character, and I think that could be massive. I think the most likely candidates we could see though are probably Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow. I feel like their toolkits are the easiest to implement in a game like this, and on top of their toolkits being the easiest to implement, they're the safest characters to go with. I'd like to see Sega do something with some other characters, more specifically Blaze, considering that's my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog character, but only time will tell. Right now, Sonic Team and Sega are having to play this really big balancing act. I keep using that term in this video, Jesus Christ. But they're having to play this balancing act between being safe and taking the next step forward for Sonic the Hedgehog. And doing both at the same time is extremely hard. They're trying to give the fans what they want and the public what they want. And those are two very different audiences. 2, even 3 years ago, I wouldn't have imagined that Sonic Unleashed would be the most beloved 3D Sonic game of all time. But now we're sitting here with a Sonic fan base that believes Sonic Unleashed is genuinely the best 3D Sonic. Which I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with that. Yes, I am. There's something wrong with that. Sonic Adventure 2 exists. This is fatherless behavior. But all jokes aside, it's one of those things that I wouldn't expect to see. So I hope this game comes out and it's really good. There's been some leaked information recently that I want to go over in another video. So keep that, again, make sure you subscribe to hit that little notification bell, you know, that ding ding that everybody puts in there. It helps your boy out. But considering all that information and all that discussion, who would you like to see and what would you like to see with them in, you know, Sonic Frontiers? Like, what other characters would you like to see? Another character that I think would be pretty cool would be to see like an Amy Rose, mostly because I feel like the hammer mechanics haven't really been, you know, explored well. Like, she's one of the few characters to really wield a weapon in Sonic that's like iconic, and it's the Pico Pico hammer. And I just want to see what they could do with that. I also want to see what like Silver could possibly do in an open world Sonic game. You know, make him not slow as dirt, but provide him some cool movement options with his psychokinesis. Because we know he can move really fast given that he uses psychokinesis. No, not specifically running. He doesn't need to run. Have him hover, have him float, do whatever. Make him the new Knights. I think that would be sick. But, you know, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, you know, like, all that stuff. But also make sure you check out my Demon Slayer video. It's episode 1 of my deep dive series, Mob Shattuck 100, and I think you guys would really like it. I'm gonna be doing more content that explores other video games in that series, and just not even other video games, but other types of media like anime, maybe comics, maybe manga. So watch out for that stuff. I got some videos, you know, up here in the brain. Also, make sure to check out my video on the, you know, Sonic cast returning to voice their characters and the potential of other characters being involved in the story in a meaningful way. Because if you like this video, I think you'll love that video. Also, make sure to follow your boy on Twitter to, you know, stay up to date when I upload videos. And then also follow me on TikTok. I'll be uploading a ton of stream highlights and short form content there. I've already started in the past. It's just I stopped streaming and I had ideas for TikTok and I just got busy with life. This is me, man, Hastags. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share this out with your friends. Remember, Hot Faraga turns to Cold Blizzaga. Make sure you check out some of my other videos. Peace. Have a good one.
See you, Space.